Hello, everybody, and welcome to Telling Tales. Here we tell atmospheric stories together through the medium of tabletop role-playing games. It's Monday night, which means we're playing Vaesen. We're currently playing with the Mythic Britain and Ireland supplement, and we're having a ruddy, lovely time. Other things that we do on the channel are on a Wednesday, we have Simba Room. And on one weekend day per month, we have a different one-shot adventure run by different GMs and with different players, different stories. This month's one sadly had to be put back. So in January, the third installment in the Alien game that Matt has been running will be happening. I think the date is to be confirmed, but tentatively the 7th. So yeah, links below the stream to our YouTube if you're watching on Twitch, or Twitch if you're watching on YouTube, our social media, our Discord, which you should join and come and chat with us and the other nice people who watch things on the channel, and also our Patreon. So if you enjoy what we do, you can support us there. So let's do recaps for last week, the week before even, because we missed last week. Let's bring on Steve first, who plays Henry Bonneville. Hi, Steve.
Hi, Jonny.
So the last session was the first session in a new mystery. Do you want to talk us through the beginning?
Sure. Yeah, so it's a couple of weeks since the end of the first encounter, where some of us were somewhat the worse for wear, following our experiences with the Red Cap. So there'd been a bit of recovery going on. Most people were at the is it Rose House?
Yes.
Yeah. The name of the organization, or at least the house of the organization. So we were there, just relaxing and catching up on things. And then a new client arrived. And Hawkins, the butler, it is Hawkins, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah, lovely, good. Introduced this person to us, gathered us all together, and we had a chat with someone named Edmund Sykes. And Edmund had come to us to discuss matters concerning his brother James Sykes, who was worked for someone named Lady Esme Spence, who essentially James was a little bit concerned that Lady Spence was spending too much time running around the countryside trying to discover or chase after all sorts of unusual supernatural creatures. And in so doing might put his job at risk if word got out and word spread. So yes, that was Edmund's main concern, was that we should try and talk Lady Spence down and just sort of calm things down a bit. The only two bits of information we really got out of him was that, in terms of events, was that someone in the town had gone missing. A town drunk had gone missing on the way back home from the pub, and also that there'd been sightings of black dogs that might or might not have had some sort of supernatural meaning.
Great, thank you.
That's about it,
yeah. Let's bring on Justin, who plays Gail Mosling Forsmark. Hi, Justin. So then you did your preparations for heading out. Do you want to talk us through that a little?
Yeah, so we'd already spent some time recovering from our wounds, but we did some research in the library, found some maps in the map room, shot some things in the shooting gallery that we have apparently in a basement. That's totally normal, and otherwise, just girded our loins and prepared a lot of holy water.
Yeah, that's an important thing. So you'd upgraded the HQ with a chapel after the previous adventure, which allows you access to holy water for no
It's-
cost, which is
Personally,
cool.
I just find it rude, Johnny, that you said the other things weren't important because they're very important to me. That's why I brought them up.
They have all important, yeah. Let's bring on John, who plays B. Hey, John.
Hi, Johnny.
So you travelled to Lady Spence's home.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, go on. Yeah.
Sure. We were greeted at the carriage by Edmund's brother, James, who welcomed us in and gave us a little bit more information. He was a lot less skeptical than his brother. He had come to the society about seeing something in the Thames before, so he hasn't seen anything recently, but he was definitely more open to Lady Spencer's disposition. And he also gave us more information about the drunk man who had gone missing, who was called Dan. Good. I can read my own handwriting. It's always good to know. Who his usual thing was stumbling out of the pub and climbing onto his faithful pony, who would carry him home until one night the pony, who I think was called Stallion or something.
I was just
The
about to
pony
say,
was
yeah.
called
Fantastic.
Stallion. Yep.
Stallion set off on his loyal quest, and neither Dan nor Stallion were seen again. And that's mostly everything we got from James. We got that he'd recently had a kid.
Yep.
Which was important to me.
Yeah. Great. So let's bring on Inga, who plays Constance. Hi, Inga.
I am.
So then Lady Spence returned home from whatever reputation ruining thing she was doing in the town. And do you want to talk about Lady Spence, Esme?
Yeah, so she filled in a few gaps for us, or a few additional details about the dog sightings and the stuff with Dan going missing. And so the dogs was like 9 months to a year ago, so it's a bit further ago. Dan's stuff was a bit more recent. She's invited us to stay with her and everything, which is very, very cool of her. Generally, I think just mostly got a bit more of his vibe check on her as a person and how she feels about things. And she's been kind of a believer for quite a while, and she's quite excited about this whole thing and hoping kind of to meet a Vaesen. She's not found anything in her books just yet, but she's invited us to come and have a look at what's going on, and suggested we might want to check out the pub and chat to the barman Robert, who was probably the last person to speak to Dan. I mean, generally she is one awesome lady. She is very progressive, very insightful and strong-willed, and just all around very, very cool. So of course Constance doesn't like her very much, but I do. I mean, I think there's a kind of a few theories. The missing person seems like a good lead to kind of try and chase down, and I think we're going to try and catch the evening crowd at the pub and see if we can pick up a thread there to figure out what might be going on.
Yep. So you were literally about to leave the home, I believe, as we ended the last session. So there are a couple of options. It's about 2 miles to the town from here. So you can walk and you can be provided lanterns. Or if one of you wants to try and drive a carriage, there is a carriage available in the estate.
Is there a skill check involved in driving a carriage? Probably not, right? No.
I mean, there
should
would
be.
be, yes, as an unskilled. If you were somebody who, in your story, you were able to drive a carriage, then no.
What would the skill check be out of interest?
Yes.
Oh no, the hole that I've dug for myself.
I would say that it would probably be
Yeah, I already know what it's going to be, and I think I'm not going to do it.
This is a super fast learning check. Learn to drive a carriage.
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
going to be agility, right?
It's probably agility. Yeah.
Yeah, then I'm not doing it.
It's up to you. It's a pretty straight road to Bodmin, proper, reasonably well frequented. You may even be able to thumb a lift on the way over. Probably won't. You probably wouldn't want to.
Good excuse for a walk.
Well, it might
I'll grab
allow
the
us to
lantern.
see something of the area. Get the lie of the land.
Yeah, that sounds like a really good idea. Lots of insights to be gained by looking around, Mosling peering at road markings.
Evidently, it's a very dangerous road to be traveling on by carriage. Highwaymen, wheels falling off carts and things.
Cool. So Lady Spence herself gathers you a lantern each. Well, I hope your investigations bear fruit this evening. I shall take good care of your boy.
Thank you.
Do let yourselves in when you get back. I don't tend to lock the door until it's time to go to sleep.
I guess we'll set off.
Cool. So it's about probably, if you're walking at pace, 30 minutes. If you're taking it steady, 40 minutes probably. Walk. It's not raining. It's not particularly windy. It's cold, but for the time of year, it's as good as it could be, really, for the evening. Can you make me vigilance rolls, please?
No successes.
No successes.
Sorry, foolishly did not have my dice out and ready.
That's okay.
Can't go through my dice choosing rituals now. It's not enough time.
Oh no.
Nothing.
One success.
Okay. Constance thinks you're not 100% sure of your surroundings because it's dark. So, if you were to see something at a distance, you wouldn't know exactly sort of the topography of the area or the layout. But when you figure probably about halfway to the town, and you can see some light ahead where the town is. But off to the side, you see some sort of, for a moment, kind of floating orby lights. You think at a distance, you can't. It could be closer and smaller, or further away and bigger. You think it's a distance away, and you just catch sort of a couple of seconds. By the time you've thought to say anything to anybody, it's gone.
I think I saw a light. We might want to keep an eye out for someone else on the road. I think it was just another light or something. Although it's gone from view. Maybe was it hilly on the way out here? In any case, might want to keep an eye out.
Good idea.
And after a little while longer, you arrive in the town. Are you heading straight for the pub?
Mosling wants to stretch his legs, and so we'll do a walk around the town, get his bearings.
2-mile
Right.
walk into town doesn't count.
Doesn't count.
No.
Mosling walks. That is his thing.
I would like to head straight for the pub, but before I go in, I would like to. Is there like a designated hitching post or like an obvious place where someone might leave a pony?
Outside the pub,
Yeah.
yes, there is a hitching post. Yeah.
Okay, I think I'd like to have like a bit of a look around it first by lantern light, but
yeah, so the area around it is quite sort of trampled, and although a lot of the rest of the area has sort of dried out, there are little bits of sort of puddled water here because of the footfall. There's nothing particularly out of sorts with it that you can see. You can't see a trail leading off from it because, as I've said, a lot of the rest of it is dry. So, yeah, you presume that this will be where Stallion was it was tied up each time. If Dan thought to tie Stallion up when he came here, he did. But yes, nothing out of the ordinary that you can see.
fair enough. In that case, I'm happy to go inside.
Okay. Is everybody apart from Gale heading in at the same time?
Constance would have gone straight in, I think.
Yes, I think Henry will go in as well. Might have been wondering whether to wander around a bit, but
Okay. Yeah, the pub is called the Weavers, and you wander in, and you see Hooks sitting at a table. So let's bring Sam on.
Hello.
Yeah, how's Hooks looking, Sam?
Yeah. So I think I'm looking all right. Probably tired, but I probably always look tired. I've just taken my coat off. I was actually going to be really cheeky and see if I could make my well-traveled roll to see if I'm sitting there with a friend and they can give me some other backstory on what's going on in the town.
Sure.
Because it seems like a good moment for it rather than being alone. But I'll have to make a roll to see if I have a friend to talk to. So this is a manipulation roll, which I think I have 6 dice on. Yeah. And this gives me, it's my talent, which I can use once per story, which basically lets me create an NPC that like knows about the local area and that I know that might be able to provide some useful information. I get 1 success.
Okay.
I think is enough for the talent.
Okay, yeah, sure. Do you have a name for somebody that you would know?
I hadn't one
Or do you want me to
immediately.
come up with one?
If you've got one on hand, I could probably come up with something.
The tables turn and you try and flip the tables back to
How
the
about-
chair with the names.
How about Margaret Watkins? There you go. I've thrown a random name out in the air. The rest
That
is
works.
up to you. Yeah, so I've literally just sat down and seen her. Maybe I've just got my drink and turned around and seen her and then gone, oh, and waved and gone over to join her at the table. I don't know if she's by herself or not. It's up to you.
Yeah, we'll say she's by herself.
So yeah, I might not notice the rest of the group because I'm chatting with her. Sorry.
It's okay. Hooks.
Oh, hi. Fancy seeing you here. You live around here now, do you? It's been years since I've spotted you.
Well, you know me. I'm all over.
Same here.
How's things?
Yeah.
Looking
all in an
well?
Interesting group now. It's well, yeah, they're feeding me well, keeping me well, I suppose. How about yourself? You're looking well too?
Yeah, I'm all right. Nobody feeding me, sadly.
Yeah, well.
I'll take care of myself. What are you about here for then?
Yeah, well, we might have a little job around here. I'll be meeting my friends soon, hopefully. Don't know if they'll be here. I think I'm in the right sort of place. Presumably, I'll see them soon. I'll have a look tomorrow morning, I think. Head out, maybe a bit up the road. What is this place called?
What, the town?
Yeah.
Bodmin.
Oh, I think that rings a bell from the message. Maybe. Can't remember that well now.
Yeah, it's all right here. I'll be off soon, but I wouldn't mind coming back. You know, the kind of place.
You heard of anything strange going on around here? If I'm in the right place, I might as well ask, I suppose.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, plenty here.
course, you would
Yeah.
have settled here for a bit then.
Yeah. Yeah, some lad who was in here every night. He's well disappeared from what I gather.
Hmm.
I think I was in here actually the night that he disappeared, but didn't really see nothing.
Small town like this, wouldn't imagine it was anything. Well, I don't imagine that happens very often. Eh?
Nah. Yeah, something like that happens in London. Nobody even notices, do they? Really? But
Oh yeah, exactly.
But yeah,
Maybe not.
I mean,
Just
probably
just
the bar
gone?
keeps. If you want to know more, I'm sure he knows everything that goes on in and around here. This woman as well, bit weird. Comes around asking questions and shouting about monsters doing things or something. I don't really know.
Magnus doesn't say anything, but internally is going, "Oh, I think I definitely am in the right place."
Yeah, some weird things.
So this woman ain't popular around then.
No. Although there is another woman that comes in here that seems to be of the same thinking as her about these strange things going on.
Hey,
I can't recall the name, but I'll think on it, and I won't leave until I've told you. I mean, not today, but I mean, I'm not going to leave town until I've remembered, and I'll point her out to her if I'm with you when I see her or something.
sounds good. Well, I'm sure it won't be hard to catch you in this place. It's not big, but whereabouts will I find you?
Probably in here or wandering around town.
Sounds good.
At that moment, the group walk in. And have you got your back to the door, or are you watching the door?
I think I probably got back to the door. I don't think I'm particularly paying attention to who's wandering in.
In that case, did you said that you were waiting for a group, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Margaret goes, these your friends?
Oh, what do you know? Looks like I'm definitely in the right place.
So you all see Hooks sitting at the table with a woman that you presumably have no idea who she is.
I look over at the group of you, see that Gale isn't there, and give you all a smile.
Amazing.
And just lift my glass. I'll probably stand up actually to go greet you as you come in. Hey, that was lucky. I was in the right place then.
Was there some doubt about it?
Well, I only got the message yesterday evening. Was in the area, thought I'd head off. This was just the place I decided to stay the night, thinking I was somewhere around here, but I hadn't looked, so that worked out quite well, didn't it? Are we nearby this lady's house then that was mentioned?
About half hour out.
Oh, my sense of direction sometimes.
You always end up where you're supposed to be. Or not.
Well, sometimes where I'm supposed to be isn't where I want to be, but yeah. Drink's good.
I'll grab a round.
So if you go to the bar, there is a very tall, sort of fluffy-haired man behind the counter. He's quite an imposing presence because he's quite sort of bulky as well as being tall, and he sort of pushes a pint glass down the bar to somebody a couple of seats down, and they push some coin up onto the bar, and then he says, "Evening."
Evening.
What can I get you?
Have a round whatever's going.
All right. Ales?
Will do me.
How many?
Does Hux already have a drink?
I just do this with mine.
Let's go for 5. We've got another one
Pouring it on
joining
the
us.
floor, honestly.
No, it's empty. That's to show it's empty. I'm not pouring it out.
While maintaining eye contact with B the whole time. Right. 5 it is then. He starts pouring the drinks.
Would you be Robert by any chance?
I am, yeah. You new in town, visiting, passing through?
Just stopping off for some work.
Ah. Good. Hard work is always welcome.
I heard you've lost a local recently. I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah. Strange. Good lad, Dan. I mean, single-handedly kept me in business, but aside from that, very well loved in the area. Definitely one of the better drunks. Strange.
No one's got
he
any idea.
Pushes the drinks over the bar. No. Yeah. Police sent someone to investigate, but nothing. Maybe something was wrong with Stallion and he wandered him off somewhere. That's all I can think. Short of somebody having done something to him, but I can't imagine who or why that would happen.
There's nothing off that night, was there?
What do you mean off?
I don't know. Anything unusual?
Somebody shouts, "Rob," from down the bar, and he holds a finger up to them. The only thing that was a little bit strange well, see that window next to the door?
Aye.
Basically, the if you're outside, the door is like the leftmost part of the building, and then there's a window, to the right of it as you're looking from outside.
Yeah.
So inside, the door is to the right, and then there's a window to the left of it.
Got
it. He says, "Well, that's the way that Dan goes home. Normally, I'd see Stallion, mosey on by the window there. But I don't remember seeing him go past that night. I could have leant down to pick something up, I suppose, turned around. I don't know. When I thought back on it, I have no vivid recollection of him passing." When he was in here, everything was fine. He seemed in his normal high spirits. Nothing strange at all about that. That's the only thing I can think is. And it may be, like I say, I may have just missed him.
That seems unlikely.
Mm.
Thank you for the drinks, anyway. I'll take the drinks and carry them back over.
How long's Gale out for, Justin?
Plan was to walk around town, maybe stop at a notice board if there is one, see what is going on. Mostly, I've been in a carriage with these guys all day, and then walking with them. I want to just do my thing, take the town in, and then I can face sitting down with them again for the next fucking 4 days.
Okay.
I see now why you don't stay with your family very long.
I'm a travel writer. My job is to be on my own, walking around.
Yeah, you find a notice board. As you would probably expect, there is a sort of missing notice up for Dan. There's a couple of things about local groups meeting, and a notice that's very weather worn that's still left up from some kind of harvest festival. But there's nothing else that jumps out at you from there.
Nothing worth an investigation roll to find out about. Right, well, fair enough. In which case, I'll continue my tour around town, and pop back. Like, probably it'll be after they finish their first pint, even if they're this.
Okay. Yeah, fine.
I think I'm pretty sure if you take that long, the pint set aside for you has also gone missing in some way.
Good.
I was going to say, when we sit back down to our table, I'll probably just say, apparently, what did you say his name was? Rob at the bar or something? I was chatting with my friend there. She said he might know more about opinions of the good lady we're looking into. Might be one to ask, although perhaps another time. And also, so I haven't, obviously, I don't know all you know from. I mean, I'm guessing you met her there, right? At the house.
Aye.
Yeah. So I don't know what she's like, but apparently there's someone else who's interested in this sort of thing here in town as well. Another lady. Don't know her name yet, but maybe I'll be able to follow up with my mate sometime, find out. Either way, though, could be a good follow up.
Gladys! Margaret turns around.
I'll just give her a big thumbs up. Oh, your pint in a minute.
Gladys Pugh. That's her. Yep, good.
Whereabouts? In town? I kind of look over my shoulder.
Yeah, she comes in here sometimes. She's often if you see that Spence woman, then she's normally not far behind. So I don't know if she's some kind of amateur detective or yeah. You'll see her around. She's youngish, reddy brown hair. Runs around in dresses that she gets muddy all the time.
Thanks for the tip. We'll find her. Have a quick chat.
If Margaret kind of moves away or enough out of earshot, how reliable an information source is your friend there, Hux? We've not heard any other mention of any other women interested in it. We thought it was just Lady Spence.
I trust her more than I trust anyone else here.
I'm not sure how. Right.
Hux just sits back and crosses arms slightly and just doesn't say anything else.
This feels like some sort of trust paradox somehow. Well, in that case, Lady Spence outright lied to us. She said there was nobody else interested in this sort of thing. Nobody else has mentioned anything about this. What? We need to find who's this Gladys?
Was it that, out of character, was it that this Gladys was interested specifically in Lady Spence, or Lady Spence's interests? Was it?
Margaret said that she was interested in the same sort of stuff.
Right. Okay.
So it could be they just haven't met yet.
Yeah, she didn't specifically say that they'd interacted at all, as far as she was aware.
We've asked a couple of people, and they've all said that the only person who believes in this sort of thing is Lady Spence. So there's something doesn't quite add up here.
Well, there's believing in it, and then there's just being a sort of open-minded, interested person. Could just be going around investigating stuff. Might not have got that far into it. Sounds like this good lady's well, she's seen things then, I'm supposing.
I'm not entirely convinced that she's seen anything, actually. She's heard stories about... She thinks she saw a dog once, and apparently some other people have seen a dog, and there was a highwayman robbery, and a wheel fell off a cart near a dog. I mean, it's ludicrous. This missing man, now that's obviously a lot more interesting. We've obviously dealt with this sort of thing before. When people go missing, could well be something wrong causing it, which was supposed to investigate because he went missing from here. So the barman was possibly the last person to see this Dan man alive or in this world. That was just a few days ago, so we need to figure out what's going on here. But this Lady Spence, she's hoping to see something, but she's naive at best.
Okay, well, sounds like I agree with you. Sounds like we need to try and find him more than anything. Whatever's going on with this lady, we'll see. What do we know anything else about him then? Got family here or something we can track down?
He has a wife. He's just a local drunk.
Barman reckons he didn't actually see him go home that night. Normally, him and Stallion go past that window there.
You mean he might have disappeared right from leaving the pub?
Or gotten completely turned around.
Surely others would have noticed. If this sounds like this was a very regular occurrence. Drunk at pub, on the horse. This sounds like, from the descriptions, he wasn't even really navigating the horse. The horse was just taking him home.
Jonny,
the horse was getting drunk and turned around.
Like in the town, whereabouts is the pub? Is it like in the middle of town? Is it kind of on the edge?
So this one is relatively near the edge of town.
Okay, so I was just kind of imagining if he went the wrong way on a dark night, there's a fair chance that no one else would have gone. Where's he going in the middle of the night if he went out of town, sort of thing? Okay.
And I know she said that the disappearance wasn't near the Bodmin Road where the dog was. Would the wrong direction be in the right direction for the dog zone? The dog zone. Horrible explanation of directions.
Oh, wouldn't it be nice to get a map right about now?
Yes, that's the other side of town. Yeah. So basically, where you've come in from, Lady Esme's, this is like you're closer to your end of town than the other end.
Well, should we? I suppose we ought to have a little look at where if he could have disappeared. Maybe there's something strange just outside. We really don't have any idea what might have caused this, though, so far, so it's hard to know what to look for.
It's late. I want to say we should keep looking because he might be in danger, but I'm not sure we'll be able to go calling on people this time. What do we reckon?
Do we know how far away the Dan's house was?
So it's not a massive town, so everything's within reach.
Okay.
I think it was just a few streets over, right? It was quite close.
Well, it might be worth walking the route at least and just sort of and seeing whether we can, I don't know, pick up on any.
We should ask about this Gladys person as well. But I suppose the barman will know about all the goings on in this town. You might know where we're likely to find such a person.
I think I might just stand up and go and ask him. I'll turn around and go up to the bar. I assume he's not busy.
He is, but he's not talking to anybody. So he's pouring drinks, but yeah.
I'll wait until he gets to me and order another round of drinks for us. And then while he's pouring, I'll just say, "Lady called Gladys here. What's she do?"
Don't think I know of a Gladys in town, actually.
Not in town at all. Huh.
Not that I can think of.
Interesting. One of my friends was telling me she might be someone to visit. Maybe she's somewhere in the local area rather than town, but I guess you know everyone here, eh?
Well, maybe she doesn't come to the pub. Maybe if she keeps to herself, I wouldn't necessarily have reason to know of her. I sometimes see people. I don't know who they are.
No problem. Well, thanks anyway. I'll just grab the drinks over. Shrug. No help.
Doesn't know where she is, or
Never heard of her. Maybe she keeps to herself or isn't in town.
who's your friend then? How does your friend know them?
Just another traveller like me. Didn't tell me where she knew her from. Just that she'd been interested in this sort of thing. Seen her around investigating stuff. Sounds like Margaret's been in the town for a fair few years, though, at least. So, I'm sure she has an idea of these. Could go back and visit her at some point, maybe tomorrow. Assuming Margaret's not still in the pub.
Yeah, she is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Well, I'll just turn around and go,
Yeah.
kind of awkwardly over the table again. Oi, Margaret, where'd you know this Gladys from then? Barman up there's never heard of her.
Just seen her around. You know, I'm out and about a lot, so
Around
I see
town
people
or
and
elsewhere?
yeah, I see people and things that other people might not see. You know how it is, Hooks.
Yeah. Any idea where she lives or something? I know you said she's following behind that other lady sometimes.
No, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if she even lives here or not. But yeah, I've seen her around.
Well, I remember your description anyway. I've got a mental note in my head that I've got a description of her being given. I can't remember any of it, but you know, Magnus remembers what she looks like.
Yeah.
I'll just nod and thumbs up and then come back to us. We'll just have to see if we can spot her, I suppose. Bit odd, that, isn't it? I say more quietly so Margaret can't hear.
Is your friend accustomed to seeing things that others don't see?
Jonny, do I have any impression that she has the sight?
Well, no, from the tone, it is like 50-50 as to whether this is like pure judgment, she is totally unreliable and off her rocker, or whether Constance is asking about the site. Like it could go either way, and I'm not sure which one Constance means. It could be either way.
I think Hux is willing to take benefit of the doubt and not be insulted about for my friend in this case. So
I think in Hux's opinion, she was just referencing the fact that as people who are constantly out and about and around, you know, areas that some people might, you know, you just see interactions that and you know, often you may be slightly invisible to people, and therefore things go on in your sight and earshot that may not otherwise.
Cool. That's the impression.
That's what you think that she was referencing.
Yeah, cool. I think as well, I probably wouldn't share this sort of thing with people a lot. So even if I knew her quite well, I might be like, don't know. Honestly, it's just we know about each other because we're in that particular circumstance. I'll just kind of shrug and go, no idea. Don't think so.
Well, I'm uncertain how this Gladys person might relate to the disappearance of this drunk. Sounds more like a connection to Lady Spence or interest in these things.
Yeah, you're right.
But it is odd.
So I'll be halfway through my second round that I brought over already. Finish this round and what? Have a look around then, do we reckon? Where is that idiot anyway? You know, force mark.
He's walking around the town.
Oh, I was hoping you'd say he decided to quit.
What? You think he'd turn up the chance to come to a random village in the middle of nowhere?
Yeah, good. I will finish my drink and then be kind of like making motions to head off then, assuming, you know, I want to go have a look at that hitching post outside.
We're just going to leave before he gets... Amazing.
I guess so.
Okay.
We all love him so much. We're just like, it'll be fine.
So assuming I arrive as they're leaving, I'll be like, "Oh, are we going now? All right." Okay. You're
Jonny
muted, John.
muted.
I think B would suggest at least hanging around outside for Mosling to turn up in this village where someone has recently gone missing.
Yeah,
Sure.
I want to check out the bit around the pub anyway. So it's like
Yeah.
right
I,
out.
I think
Sure.
I think if you've had 2 pints, I would have been arriving around that time anyway. So
Yeah, so you head outside and Mosling arrives.
Bodmin's nice. It's a friendly place. Didn't see any black dogs or ponies or drunk men, but it's not a Saturday, so
B has decided to not say anything about Hux joining us and see whether Mosling notices.
That's exactly what I was going to do as well.
We
what do you think the odds that is?
Yeah, we already know. I'm checking out the hitching post and also kind of looking at the windows from the kind of, you know, if he went another way sort of thing, trying to figure out if that meant he definitely went straight out of town.
Yeah, what lies in the other direction, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, so there is a side street off to either direction. So you're on the main road basically that's coming through town. So if you turn right out of the pub and walk in a straight line, that's back the way you've come. And down there is a left and a right turn. So there are two, you know, essentially if he has gone that way rather than left, which is where they were expecting him to go, then he has gone either down one of those two roads or out of town that way. Or into somebody else's house that's in that direction.
Constance is thinking more along the lines of goes to horse, instant disappearance, like, you know, red cat appears out of nowhere kind of thing. Presumably it works the other way too. Is there anything like, so she's less fussed about looking at where else he might have traveled to and more about where he might have disappeared from in this area?
If I've got my map with me, then does that indicate there are any routes that they could, like, if they were taking a scenic route back home, is that possible on this thing, or then is it just, you know, is there, I don't know. My point being is there a way back to where they were supposed to be going to this way, or is it not?
Yeah, he could go, you know, he could go down sort of if you're going right, so you're facing out of town.
Sure.
You could take the left-hand turn and kind of loop around some streets to get back to his. So it would be possible to do that.
Right, fair enough.
Yeah.
I point this out to Constance with the map.
Yes, very nice. But continues just looking around to see if there's anything that looks Maybe not red cappy, like, you know, like those spiked boots kind of thing, because it doesn't sound like that, but just anything else that looks a bit odd around where this hitching post sort of area.
Do you want everybody who's looking, make me a investigation roll, please.
I wonder whether this might be. I will roll this. I might try using my new skill, which I've bought since last time with 5 XP, which is Sixth Sense, which is to do with investigation rolls and allows you to determine whether a Vaesen has been in the area.
Okay.
But that's extra successes. You may spend extra successes to learn.
So I presume you can roll and then decide if you want to use the talent, because otherwise you may be wasting it if you don't roll any extra successes. So I'm fine with that. I haven't read the thing recently, but I'm more than happy that is a fair.
Sure. I mean, it's not going to trigger because you need multiple successes. So you know.
Does my map have any confer any advantages to this?
Not on this, I'm afraid, Justin.
That's fine. I can save it for later.
No successes for me.
So this is logic investigation, which is 5 plus 3. Sorry, loads of dice.
I did get 1 success.
Okay. Contrary to my predictions, I got 3 successes.
Woo!
Private detective succeeds.
Would you like to use your Sixth Sense, Steve?
I think I might. So yeah. So I'll be sort of, I don't know, just sort of. I'll have gone near the hitching post and just be looking around, and then maybe just sort of start to lose myself in a reverie or something. And yes, I will.
How much has Bonneville had to drink?
So, Gale spots on the ground, sort of almost like in the tiny gap between the pub and the next building, finds a tiny scrap of red fabric. And I think Henry spots that Gale has picked up this bit of fabric, and if you're happy with this, Steve, I think Henry kind of runs and grabs the scrap of fabric, and you are certain that this is related to a Vaesen that has been here, and you believe that you can feel something sort of emanating from it that gives you the impression that there has been some kind of magic or enchantment used by this creature.
Careful, Bonneville. Are you drunk?
Shut up, would you? There's.
Yes, then is the answer.
Sorry, Johnny. There's been something here. I can.
What's wrong, Bonneville?
I don't know how, but I can feel that one of those creatures has been here, and that. Well, you know how they. And I'll look around to see if anybody's listening. The red cap. You know how it just sort of appeared and disappeared. There's something similar's going on. There's magic. There's a magic has been used here.
That material, you reckon that's from one of them then?
Well, it's red, isn't it? Could be a red cap.
I will sort of. What sort of material does it look like? Is it sort of hatty or scarfy or cloaky. The three main
Bloody,
denominations
maybe?
of yeah.
Yeah, those are fabrics, I'm pretty sure.
So it's a scrap sort of about this size, and it is knitted. You could imagine it being from a hat.
Does it otherwise look perfectly ordinary?
Yeah, it's just like a knitted piece of fabric, yeah. But it's given Henry this impression that there was something. Yeah, sorry, go on, John.
Does it look like it's encrusted with dried blood?
Are you having a decent look at it to try and figure that
Yes.
out?
I'd laugh if just
be-
all of the seasons, all of the stories this season are just
Yeah,
red
just
cap.
red caps all
Yeah,
the way
red
down.
cap after red cap.
To B's great relief, it does not.
It's not one of them. No blood.
I suppose you're an expert on this now, B.
There's no blood. What was the one thing we knew about the red caps?
That thing was drenched in it.
It's just died. Might be a hat, but
This is a very kind of casual question, Johnny, so feel free to be like, meh, you don't know. But from what we understand, like numerous Vaesen wear clothes. That's like something that some of them will do. So this could be an item of clothing that one of them was wearing, which is why I'd want to build.
Yeah, so there are some that are sort of similar to animals, and others that are more humanoid, and the humanoid ones, from your understanding and sort of drawings and stuff that you've seen in some of the society's books, will tend to cover their modesty in the same way as an actual human would.
Yeah. Oh, that one we saw in London actually by the prison was wearing clothes, wasn't it? So
yeah.
Okay, I guess I'll just say could be one of their clothes. I mean, some of them do wear clothes, don't they?
Or it could be a scrap of fabric.
Seems a
Was
bit.
It seems clear that you agree there's something happened here. There was one of these creatures that has taken this man and his horse, presumably. We need to figure out why, what triggered it. Are we likely to encounter it again this evening or some other night? What's happened here?
Did you find this caught on something, Mosling? Was it torn? What?
It's just in the gap there between the buildings.
Gap not big enough for people to fit down, just to definitely not stallion.
I'm sure
just before the question comes up.
Unless magic.
Why don't you stick your head between the eyes and see if it'll fit?
This scrap of material, I'm kind of up to like Wannaville now looking at it too. Does it look like it's been like torn, shredded by force or something, or all the edges like frayed, or has it been cut? Is it like what? Is it kind of easy to identify that?
It's definitely not being cut. It's not smooth edges. The edges of it are frayed a little.
Okay.
So it's either sort of frayed off or been pulled, and because it's knitted, the edges have sort of pulled that way.
Okay. So I'll go. I suppose I'll just go. Looks like it was pulled off or apart somehow. Maybe there was a struggle here.
As Hux examines it, I'm going to take a photo of it and him, which will blind him and anyone else looking at it.
Mosling.
What? You think it's evidence? We should collect evidence.
At least warn me before you do that, though.
I thought it was I mean, yeah. There's a scrap of fabric. Should we examine this at another time when there's more light?
Is it worth seeing whether this scrap was something that that Dan wore? It's not much, but Rob might recognize it as being something that Dan wore.
Yes, if you like, it may be worth asking. I think we ought to also check out those books in Lady Spencer's library and ask maybe there are some local folklores or similar that might you might make some sense of this. Some fairy in a red dress or something. I don't know. I think we should also have a little look at that later this evening when we get back. And also just having a quick look around now that we're kind of here and hanging out and just, casually hanging outside and chatting around the Hitchin Post. Anybody else around or taking notice of us at all? You're on mute.
Nobody else outside at the moment. It's late enough that if people aren't walking between their house and the pub or vice versa, there's probably not going to be anybody out.
I'm going to shine my light down the gap between the buildings.
I was just about to ask. Yeah.
And if I don't see anything immediately, say hello.
The barman walks out.
You hear a small squeak, and then you spot a rat sort of running away from you down the small gap.
Right.
It's about this wide. What's that? 5 inches wide, something like that.
Yeah, right. And the rat isn't wearing like a scarf or coat or no.
You got to ask these questions in a game like this.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a completely nude rat.
The scandal. Right. B stands up.
Yeah, so I guess I'll pop back into the inn briefly, and if Rob has a free moment, just sort of ask whether Dan, used to wear anything knitted that was that happened to be bright red.
No, not that I can think of. Jane made a lot of his clothes. Are you some kind of investigator? Why?
Yes.
Trying to find Dan?
Yes.
Right. Well then, anything I could do to help, just say.
Thank you.
You got somewhere to stay?
Yes. We're okay for accommodation. Thank you.
Good.
But yes. Well, if we have, we'll be wandering around, I guess, and we'll probably have some odd questions. But if you're able to help us at all, that would be useful. Hopefully, we can find out what happened here.
Well, I'm always here, so.
Thank you. And I think I'll head back outside.
We should take a moment to appreciate how weird it is, actually, in hindsight, to be like, "Hello, strange barman. So, your local drunk. What does he normally wear then?" Like, something's actually outside of a game situation.
We always play these mystery stories with Jonny, so this conversation is just entirely normalized, and then you're like, "If it was really there."
Yeah, just be going around being peak suspect in all of these places.
At least Bonneville looks vaguely respectable and detective-like.
Looks.
Yeah.
Sorry, Jade. So, you're all staying with the good lady then?
All right. She's got a room set up for you as well, if you want it.
Oh, very nice. Right then, I'll come with you.
So are you heading back to the house now? Leaving further investigation for tomorrow?
You said it was quite late, didn't you? So
Yes, yeah, I think probably 8:39. It's probably late to be knocking in 18.
It's worth noting as well. Hux is heading back, and he has literally nothing on him whatsoever, other than his trusty crowbar and his
I'd forgotten about the
his
crowbar.
walking stick. That's it.
Jonny, in a town like this, with like this little size, would there be any other? Yeah, I guess there's not gonna be like a nice full census or anything, but like any other like officials or like is there some sort of like taxman who would like if there's somebody who lives in this town, like is there someone who should know about it, like other than the barman for obvious reasons of everyone's going to end up at the pub someday.
Church
Obviously,
records.
yeah.
Yeah, there'd be church
Yeah,
records. What exactly is it that you're thinking about trying to find?
Person, like trying to figure out like if she is real or like if that, like or not necessarily in like a Vaesen sense, but like it could be a fake name, it could be like someone who's just arrived in town or something, but like is there someone who supposedly exists in this town called Gladys who's been around for a while?
I love the different tacks of this. Like Constance has heard this name mentioned. It's just like, I must find out who this person is. I must track them down wherever they are. And Hux is just there like, I'll probably see them at some point. I'm sure it'll be fine.
He'll turn up.
Yeah, like my friend tells them this person might not exist. I'll trust that hopefully they exist, and hopefully we'll see them.
It's so weird that the barman doesn't know that this person even exists, like let alone like that's weird.
Surely Sister Constance would have come across practitioners of the temperance movement. I think that was a thing. That was a thing by the 1860s, wasn't it? Yeah.
Temperance movement?
Yeah, the teetotal. It was like a sort of national, partly religious motivated, but also partly just.
But it's not
lips that touch liquor shall never touch ours.
Yeah.
But like it's not just like about booze. Like you get all the gossip and stuff in a pub, right? Like people would talk about that.
Sister Constance is like there. She's got some smoke. She's like got a pint. She's like and then the bishop.
Constance had a life before the church, is all I'm saying.
I like the thought that wherever it is that Constance lives when she's not in London, there's just like her church and convent, and then every night the local pub is beset by this gang of nuns, just gossiping. Like I don't know, smoking and gambling and harassing the locals.
The nuns are coming.
There's a good degree of like prejudice in this as well, for sure. Of the like, the barman knows because everybody in these towns is a terrible person who ends up either at the bar or gossiped about at the bar. Like, not necessarily like for good reason.
I might have misheard this though. I'm going to have to check. Didn't Margaret say when you asked about where you would find Gladys? Didn't Margaret say that she came to the pub?
No,
she said she'd been. She said she'd been in, that she'd seen her in the pub.
Oh yeah, okay, fair enough.
She didn't necessarily say she'd been drinking.
And that she's like close behind Lady.
She follows another woman around. Who is the woman she follows around?
Lady Spence, the person who you're staying
with. She literally follows Lady Spence around. Okay, so I think it's fair to say Hux is a bit like, yeah, you're right, that is a bit odd.
And given
as an answer to your question,
in the pub and everything, because they think she's this weirdo. If there's some weird lady also following the weird lady around, like that's weird, right? That's gossip worthy.
Yeah,
it's kind of weird.
Okay, I think some form of this conversation is happening on the way back, and Hux is coming round to your perspective.
In answer to your question, Inga, there would certainly be birth and death records at the church. So you would at least be able to know if she was and you've got the surname as well. So you could maybe even be like, even if her family are here and she's left town in the interim, there would potentially be something to.
Yeah, I was supposed to maybe check out the church and also maybe intimate that if she's got a name like Pew, maybe she's been taken in by the church or something at some point. Like maybe there's some sort of, adopted by the church or something like that,
Can you all make vigilance rolls, please?
Why is it always vigilance, never observation?
One success.
2 successes.
None.
1 success.
Okay. B and Henry, when you're almost out of earshot of the pub, you hear the pub door close. And if you turn around to look, just out of interest as you've heard the door close, you, not in a weird way, but you don't see anybody. It's quite dark, whatever. Gale, you roll 2, right? Just in 2 successes. Okay. You think that in the shadows you can see somebody going the same way as you behind you.
Okay, well, I'm not going to say anything, but I'm gonna try and listen out to see if I can hear them turning off or following us or approaching or anything like that. I'm already not partaking in this ridiculous conversation about churches and other bollocks, so I think I've got spare capacity to be listening out for that on the way home.
Why don't you go and join them? They're probably better company.
Well, you don't know that they're there, but
I know,
also
I know.
keep your suggestions to yourself.
Notably, when you pass the entrances to the 2 sort of side streets, and then when you figure that they would have reached those points, you can still hear their footsteps the same distance essentially behind you, so they're not gaining or dropping back from what you can tell.
Me and Constance, having rolled no successes, are happily nattering away about this Gladys and trying to figure out where she is, not having noticed anything at all, presumably.
And those footsteps continue definitely out past the last building in the town. So they are now on the road behind you. And you passed no houses between that town boundary and Lady Spence's home.
Mm-hmm. Is there any way of surreptitiously glancing back in a non-obvious way that I can see if I can see anything behind us on the road?
Never look back.
Would you? Yes,
Again,
if you don't turn your lantern, because they wouldn't necessarily see you turning round. They don't have a light source. So if you're holding your lantern there and you turn back, they're not necessarily they're very unlikely to notice that you have turned.
Then I can't see anything looking back. There's just darkness.
You can see sort of a moving shadow coming towards you, like a figure of somebody moving towards you.
Human size?
Yes, you're pretty certain that it's a person who has left the pub and is walking the same way as you.
Then I might if I'm holding a lantern, then I might swiftly turn to greet them, and I suppose I'm going to turn, and if I see someone there, then I'll greet them. If I don't see anyone there, then I'm going to be not raising anything to these crazy people I'm with, who are going to leap upon this as some kind of clue or other thing.
We'll know if you've seen something scary because you'll fiddle with your camera for 6 turns.
That's possible. But then that wouldn't really be discernibly different from any other time.
Okay, Gale turns, and you see you're pretty certain a young man in the road in a coat and a hat, and he darts off the side of the road and into some sort of trees that are there as you turn around.
Did he look surprised?
Yes.
Yeah, I suppose so. How well were the? Also, important question: how well were they dressed?
Like
are we talking like a Hux, or like me, or like
no,
like
more like a Henry, I suppose. Like
that's ridiculous. I can't do anything with that information. Well, in that case, I will call after them. Are you all right? welcome to join us on the road.
How's everyone else reacting to having been aware of nothing, and suddenly you're sort of 5 minutes out of town, and Gale's shouting at the road.
Stop
Was-
and spin round. And...
Yeah, turn around, don't see anyone.
Yep.
Was there someone there?
Is there no response from the darkness?
They are not responding. No.
Where
I
was he?
think I saw something over in the bushes over there, and I kind of want to walk to at least the verge of the road where they disappeared off and see if there's anything around there.
B is also going to walk and try and see if there's any trace, or whether Mosling is just being weird.
Agreed.
You can see sort of a like leafy, bushy area which has obviously been recently disturbed. You know, potentially somebody's darted through it. So you've got a bit of there's a sort of small copse of trees here, and this is sort of at the road edge. This leafy area. So
No
it's
one
quite,
else.
but B thinks it's quite possible that Gale has seen somebody or something run into here.
Constance is just thumbing some holy water in a pocket somewhere, just in case.
Was it a person? Force mark.
Yes. I'm
going
going to call out again into the woods of kind of, like, welcome to join us on our evening walk.
I'm going to step off the road and start walking into the forest in the direction that it looks like they went.
I will follow you.
They
do
didn't
we
have a
also have our
lantern.
light? I was going to say, do we also have our lights up?
I
Yeah,
do.
You're taking lights. Okay, cool. In that case, I'm going to circle back towards town, around the woody bit, and kind of like strafe along, seeing if I can shine my light through the trees and spot a movement.
I'm going to glance to Bonneville and see how he looks, because last time we had something similar, he was quite shaken by this.
As long as it's not large dog-sized, I'm less concerned. Plus the fact that as I say, the last time that I was spooked, it turned out to be Rupert. So yes, it's I'm sure this is all entirely explainable. So now then, Magnus and B are going into the trees. Mosling is going down the road to skirt round. What's further up? Is there? I guess the road continues towards.
Yeah, so then at the side of the road, past the sort of copse of trees, is reasonably open ground. So if somebody were to come out of the trees that way, you would see them if you were over there. And similarly, from what I understand, Gale is moving down sort of the other end of this copse of trees. So if anybody comes out of that end, he would.
Okay. Well, I guess I'll sort of glance at Constance and make sure I have a good view of the edge of the copse at this side, just to check that yes, no one runs out that way.
I'm sticking with Bonneville.
Okay. So B and Magnus as the two sort of moving parts of this. You've both got your lights. Oh, Hooks wouldn't have one.
No.
No.
I might actually be deliberately hanging back a bit to keep my night vision.
Okay.
But not too far away. B could see me or hear me. I will kind of whisper when we're going in as well. No way, that was a coincidence. No one's going to be walking these roads at night.
No. All right.
B sees a sort of rustling in a large sort of bushy area to her right. and then a fox comes running out.
What does B do when she sees foxes?
I mean, she didn't take her gun with her to the pub, so. And also, you don't get good meat on foxes.
They spoil everything else, don't they?
Yeah, that's the farmer's problem. Right, I'm gonna let the fox go unharassed. And is there any other sign of any trail? Footsteps? Stub bushes?
It's vigilance for tracking as well, isn't it? I think.
Yes. And I
Okay,
also have
so-
Bloodhound, which gives me +2 vigilance when tracking prey. As in
Oh,
a
okay.
person I want to track.
So typically in these games, you keep a roll. Like, you've rolled vigilance already quite recently, so that kind of stays. But because this is a separate thing, why don't you roll and include your Bloodhound thing?
Excellent. That is 6 dice. No successes.
Okay. You are struggling to find a trail here. So there hasn't been rain here for a couple of days. As I said, a lot of the ground has dried outside, and actually a lot of the leaves are gone from here, but the slight additional cover has actually meant that this has stayed drier still. So no footprints, and it's a bit more open in here than that initial bushy area that you came in through. So there's less chance of a snapped twig as somebody runs past or that kind of thing. This isn't a large area. You're not sure whether they're still in here. I'm not sure how aware you are of what everybody else is doing outside to sort of ensure that nobody's leaving. So, either what I will say is that you are aware that they're not moving in here. So either they are in here hiding or have left this area.
Okay.
I would like to kind of make a motion or just go shh to B and just listen to see if I can hear anything, any like subtle movements or anything in the area. That's my thing. Which is vigilance as well. Is that going to be?
Yes.
Cool. No successes. We're not having much luck in this, cops.
So in that case, I will say that both of you, you after a little while, you probably start to verge more on that they've got out of here.
I shake my head at Hux and I guess turn back for the road.
Sounds good. Yeah, let's go back. They must have left, I guess.
None of the rest of you see anybody leave the area.
Do you see any foxes leave the area?
Yes, a fox does come running out of your side, actually.
Which way does it go? I don't trust this fox.
Okay, but is this
doesn't
you
trust
or
anyone.
Constance? I was going to say, does Constance not trust
I
a
don't.
fox?
But also, Constance does not like foxes in more of a like, ugh, kind of
Oh,
way.
I see.
They're
Okay,
God's
yeah.
most cunning and tricky creature.
Yeah.
Do any of you go back to tell Mosling that you finished looking, or are you just going to leave him there?
Yeah, we probably come back
I
to like
will.
Bonneville and just be like, no one there. So, did you say you were B?
Yeah, I'll head back to the road and give her. I don't know how far Mosling went, but I'll give her a call.
I think I'll have circled around the woods to like so I can see kind of like the end of it that's towards town. You'll see me carrying a big lantern, you know. And it's safe to go back and check on me in case they've come out my way and decked me.
If I see your lantern, I'll flash my lantern at you.
I can't start walking back.
People have been disappearing in the night. We better make sure that doesn't happen to any of us. Well, except Gale, I suppose.
So mean to him.
This has got very savage for episode 2.
Is Hook saying that just as Gale gets there with sort of his back
Yeah,
to him?
turn
Oh,
around
hi,
like,
Gale.
Well, if it was to get you, Hux, you'd have to arrive on time.
It was anyway. Yeah.
But this is
Okay,
this is
so sorry, go
getting
on.
very so Mosling, you think you saw somebody run into the woods who's now disappeared, but this is very strange. The running off into the woods doesn't feel very Vaesen. If we think,
No, I agree. I think it sounds a lot like one of these. There were some criminals on the roads, wasn't there?
Oh, you think
Looking
somebody?
at Hux. Looking back.
One person by himself. They're not a criminal. Certainly wouldn't be hunting.
Well,
us.
I like your egalitarian point of view, Hux.
Well, they wouldn't be hunting us anyway. 1v5, would they? Did you say they were following us?
I don't know what it was. I thought I heard someone walking behind us on the road. I offered them to walk with us. It can be quite intimidating having a group of people in front of you. They obviously ran off, and I think they probably took off through the fields and out past the woods, and we never got a chance to see them.
Did you? Do you know when they started back at town?
Yeah, I think they left from the pub. I think they were following us from there.
Jonny, how many other people were in the pub?
Quite a few.
Okay, so we couldn't really
and there were a few people drinking, probably alone. You think so? It's not like you could pick out. There was that one person who was drinking alone, and it was
kept staring at us over a
foxy look.
newspaper.
Yeah.
I mean, we may have just startled one of Lady Spencer's staff coming back from the pub.
Really, they wouldn't have run off.
There's none of the staff. None of the staff stay at the house overnight. Remember, I commented on it because it was so odd.
And in any case, why follow us creepily? Why stalk us like that? There are no good intentions when somebody's creeping about like that in the dark and running off into the bushes.
Did you get a look at them? Can you describe them?
Did I get a good enough look at them to remember what they looked like and all the rest of it, Jonny?
Yeah.
No, I would say that they were probably, they reminded me of you, Bonneville. No, and I mean that in the nicest way. Your kind of build, look, styling.
You think they were probably about 20, like they were relatively young. But yeah, just sort of, a reasonably heavy duty coat and hat. Yeah,
I described that. But it was only a glance on a dark road. It is cold out here.
Oh, sorry. How far down the road did we get before this has happened? Like, are we still closer to town or closer to Lady Spencer's?
Yeah, you're sort of 5 minutes out of town.
Well, should we ask who? Should we go back and ask who's left the pub?
Might be an idea. Someone's following us. I wonder who it is. I will turn around and head back unless, sounds sensible if we're only 5 minutes out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm happy to go back with or if Bonneville wants to go back, I don't mind.
Yeah, if we're only a short way out of town, it seems reasonable to...
And the barkeep doesn't know who I am as well, so that probably wouldn't help the situation.
There were no turn-offs from that point on. There were no turn-offs between where we were and Lady Spencer's.
You didn't pass any other buildings from what you can remember. There weren't any. There may have been a small side path down to somewhere else.
Yeah.
But you're pretty sure that there wasn't. You couldn't say with 100% certainty, but if you had to put a bet on one or the other, it would be firmly on there was nowhere else between the town and Lady Spencer's house.
When we're back at the door, then I'll just go, Do you want to ask Bonneville? Seemed like you were getting along all right with him.
I can, I guess, but Mossling here was the one who caught the best look, I guess.
I'm happy to go back. Let's yeah.
I think Constance is going to stick around outside and try and keep an eye on the hitching posts, the road we've just come from, the pub, just what comings and goings are there now.
I was also going to stay outside for similar reasons, yeah.
It might be worth actually if I might give my lantern to someone else and step away from the inn a bit, just into like the darkness somewhere else, and just watch the inn and the lit, the group of people there, just to see. Well,
I guess Hux doesn't have a lantern, so
I do now.
Okay. Right. Let's do the inside of the pub first. So, is Gail going in alone? Is that the plan?
No, because someone has to go in, preferably to be honest, Bonneville, who has talked to the barkeeper before, because otherwise I'm just a random person going, did you see someone leave following this group of people who I'm definitely associated with, trust me? Even though they're investigating a murder and I'm a stranger from out of town.
Yeah.
You got the first drinks, spoken to the barman. I'm sure he'll be very concerned to hear that someone's followed new travellers, newcomers to the town from his pub.
Was that me? Sorry.
Yeah, happy for that. I was more than happy to be joined by someone who can vouch for my character. I say, perfectly aware of what that means.
I'm not sure you got not got people here for that.
Okay.
All right.
Robert nods at you, B, as you walk towards the bar.
Evening again.
Hello. Everything all right?
Not quite. I'm a colleague of Ms. B. And I didn't join for a good number of drinks at your fine establishment, but as we were leaving, I met them, and we were walking back, and somebody appears to have followed us from the premises of this pub back on the road home, and we were just curious to know whether after my work colleagues left, did anyone get up and follow them to leave? They would have looked. I'll just give a description of them.
Yes, there was a young man in here.
Yeah, young man. Yeah,
fits that description. Yeah, I'd say maybe 10 minutes after they left, which the time that you spent outside, that would tie up for you. Yeah.
Do
Yeah,
they drink her often, or
not somebody I recognize, I'm afraid.
Okay. Well, if you see them again, we'd be really interested in just knowing what that was about. I think we might have offered them a bit of a scare on the road, and maybe it'd be nice to buy them a drink to make up for that. If we did, I think they jumped in a muddy ditch as well to get away from us. So it would be worth just making sure that they were all right. I think my colleagues have already told you that we're staying up with. We haven't told them at all, have we, where we are?
No.
But then I'd probably. Well, you haven't told me shit, so I don't care. I like that's on you. So I would say, my colleagues will tell we're staying with it at the lady's house.
Right, you are. Sure, I'll see you again soon. And yes, if I spot that young gentleman again, I'll let you know.
That'd be really very helpful.
Thanks, Rob.
Go careful on the road now.
We will.
Is that a threat?
Can I do an observation roll to see what their reaction is generally to this information? Whether it seems like an honest
Yep.
Which I think is observation.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
I mean, really, this is all Bonneville's fault for sending Mosling in there.
I got a single success.
Okay.
Although I might have a talent for this actually. Now I'm thinking about it, but yeah, that's it. That's the
Okay. So when you mentioned that you thought that somebody had followed you from the pub, he looked slightly concerned, as you would expect somebody to if you thought somebody was following you. When you said that you would like to buy this person a drink, there was a bit of a disbelieving. Like he knows, if somebody was following him, he would have probably given the same line to the barkeeper who was giving him this information.
yeah.
So,
Mosling's not exactly going to take him outside, though, is he? Like,
but no, it seemed he seemed genuinely concerned that somebody that he's probably considers a friend has gone missing, and then some people have come to investigate that. He knows that this group are here to investigate that, and then they're being followed out of the pub. Like, he's not comfortable with this situation. You definitely don't get the impression that he's in any way involved in it.
Sure.
So yeah. Good.
Well, anyway, we'll on that. B's giving me signs to leave and shut up, so I'll be like, I'll be trying one of these beers next time.
You get
Taps
here
on
on time.
taps on the bar and turns and leaves.
I think you call them beers.
Exactly.
I'd like one of these lager beers.
I'm resisting like a Michelin Web style.
Yeah.
On a day such as this.
Important question. Did Hux buy Margaret the owed pint?
Not yet, no.
How
I'm pretty sure I'm gonna see her
incredibly
again.
rude was
Tally of
it
the
that you
decks.
let Margaret sit at the table behind you with your good and like
Oh,
you have
she knows I'm
how
drinking,
incredibly
I won't forget.
that was appalling.
In my head, sort of Hux and Margaret have traded off, when one of them's got a little bit of money to buy a sandwich.
Yeah.
Like there's probably been a back and forth over many years, I would imagine, with them.
In fact, I almost like the idea that I deliberately didn't buy her a pint tonight, because it's our joke that it would be like, oh yeah, I'll give you a pint, but it wouldn't be now.
So the group outside, there are more people leaving now. So you see a couple of people leave on their own, and a couple and a group of sort of male friends leave as well. None of them look overly drunk, not sort of staggering home, but the group of male friends are kind of singing a little as they leave. But nothing untoward, and you don't see anybody else sort of lurking anywhere. And then Gale and B re-emerge.
And there's nobody sort of appeared on the outskirts that happened to be watching us.
Nope.
Well, the bartender seems to think that it was not a regular. So they noticed the man, but that's what we have. I am getting very tired.
Yeah, let's head back. Hope we're not followed this time.
Well, let's stay alert.
Okay.
Safe to say on this journey back, I don't natter away.
I'm happy to walk back in complete silence.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, there is
Look at that GM plotting going on there.
no, in fact, yeah, make vigilance rolls again, please.
if we didn't make vigilance rolls, then it would make it when we have to make vigilance rolls really
You know,
obvious.
I don't think we're ever going to get back. We're just going to keep making vigilance rolls, and then just more things are going to happen.
I guess it's kind of cheating for me to ask whether my
Not
bloodhound
bloodhound.
factors in.
No.
Yeah.
No.
One
One
success.
success.
One success.
No successes.
We're a lot
Okay.
more as a
Yeah, I'm
group.
paying attention now.
So, B, I think, is watching the tree line when you pass the copse of trees. Everybody else is maybe looking around a little more. And you all see, just for a second, some floating orb-like lights off in the distance. You think off in the distance. So Constance obviously has seen that before.
That's what I saw.
And then they're gone.
That was it. That was what I saw before.
Those lights.
I don't think it was a traveller.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Hux. On the walk down here, I thought I saw a light just when we were walking. And
Yeah, I saw that.
I just thought it was maybe somebody else with a lantern up ahead somewhere, but that no, not anymore.
Was
I'm
it just
gonna
a
mark where it is on the
stationary
map.
Yeah, good. Was it just a stationary light for a
They're kind of
moment, or was it like
floating?
moving, kind of?
It's sort
on-
of like 3 or 4, you would say, sort of floating orbs, which then
Okay.
disappeared.
Reminds me of the tail of the Will-o'-the-Wisp.
Hmm.
So, Justin, you asked about marking it on a map. You can.
I want to mark on the road where we are, and because I'm like,
Oh, okay.
I don't want to. What I would say is, I don't think it's a very good idea to go wandering off into a moor tonight. Who knows when a mist might roll in? But we can come back tomorrow and wander over there and see if we can see anything.
What you
First thing
could
in the morning?
do, you could essentially mark on the map where you are, and then you could draw a line and say it's somewhere along this line because you can't tell the
Yeah.
distance.
Then
But
I'll
yeah,
do
you
that
could do that.
with a bit of lantern light from someone else.
Cool.
Was it the same sort of place you saw it last, Constance?
Yes.
Is there a way of using the last known location and direction to try and triangulate? We have 3 points. With simple trigonometry, we can solve the rest.
My only concern about coming back in the daytime is we're maybe less likely to see these sorts of lights if it's bright, or maybe these don't even show up other than at night time.
Well, it's safer to go in day, so do that first at least. Worst case, we find nothing in the day and we can come back.
At least we can look for local landmarks or that sort of thing, and that might at least help us with finding things during the night.
It's very strange that there's so much going on. There's this missing man who seems to have gone missing right from the pub with this scrap of fabric, and there was definitely something there. There's this strange Gladys woman, there's Lady Spence and all of her mad ideas with this dog or whatever. These strange lights, and this man followed us out of the pub.
To be honest, Constance, strange lights moving around at night, it's more likely to be baiting than it is to be anything supernatural. And that's
Why
another
can't it
good
be
reason
both?
not to come out. Well, that's true, but if it is going to be people out here trying to do something awful like that, then I don't want to run into them in the dark. It could be how many of them? We can go back in the morning and see if there's any signs of anything untoward. You don't even have your gun, I heard you say.
It's true.
Yeah, let's go back. They don't seem to be showing up again, do they? Just a moment.
Okay. So you head back along the road, no further incident, and arrive back at the house. For Hux's benefit, it's a large, basically stately home with a few little cottages off to the side, sort of stables and stuff. Big old house. And I presume you're letting yourselves in, as that's what she told you to do. So you head in, and from the room that you were in previously, you hear, good evening again. She doesn't come out to greet you. She's and when presumably you head in there,
Call out
and
and,
she's she's essentially sat with her feet up on the settee with a book, in a very nice dress, and she puts the book down, which is some esoteric volume that you didn't quite catch the name of, and says, "How did you like the town?" "Oh, hello," says to Hux.
I'll give her a little like nod and say, "Lady Spence, was it? Magnus Huxley. You can call me Hux."
"Very nice to meet you, Mr. Huxley. I'm glad that I had the room prepared for you today. I wasn't expecting you so early, but it's good to be prompt."
Thank you. I made good time.
"Are you? Is anybody, Mr. Huxley especially? Are you hungry?
Yeah, sure.
Could
Why
rustle
not?
up a sandwich for you."
Thanks.
"Right, I'll be back in a moment." And she puts the book down and runs out of the room for a moment.
I'm going to pick up this book.
Quick,
See
read
what
it.
page is on.
What's it called?
What is it
I'll-
called? The Necrominicon. Not of this one before. Let me
Real
just. I'll
page
read this
turn.
passage out aloud.
It's titled "Regarding Fairies."
I drop it immediately on the floor.
Really? What?
Like it's like almost like it's a snake or something.
Right. Okay.
Sorry, I
Something
don't know.
something wrong, was
I'll
there?
lean over and like pick it up with 2 fingers by the spine and then give it to Bonneville, and then let go of it. I don't want to. Monster is obviously not interested in this book anymore.
I will,
Hux is eyeing you carefully.
Yeah, it's you say not interested. What's our vibe check here?
you-
Like,
I
this
sense
is
backstory.
interest, or is
Mm.
this like phobia? Like, well, what this feels extreme.
I think I might be coming down with something. I'm going to go to bed, and then I leave.
Gail, did you read the title of the book out loud, or did you say you didn't?
I don't think he read it out loud. I think he
Okay.
just swallowed
I
it.
will read the title out.
Once
loud.
he's out, yeah. Once he's left,
Yeah.
I'll be like, "What was the book about?"
It's called Regarding Fairies.
Not particularly intimidating.
We knew that she was interested in fairies and things.
Yes, I. Well, that man is. He has some unusual behaviours. Anyway, and I will start to sort of flick through the book and just idly. I'm wondering
Esme
whether.
comes back and oh, sorry, go on, Steve.
Yes, I obviously I won't have time to study it, but I'm in my head. I'm wondering globes of light. Is that a fairy related thing?
You're not going to have a chance to see anything in particular now, as Esme returns to the room with a sandwich on a plate for Hux, and she also says, "Drink, anyone?"
I will.
And gets the same decanter as she'd basically served up earlier.
I will nod eagerly and awkwardly with a full mouth of sandwich.
I had enough at the pub, thank you.
Oh, by the way, Adam was delightful. A lovely, lovely young man.
I'm glad
Nice
to hear that.
Chianti.
So, do you find anything? Anything fresh, new?
I'll hand the book back to her.
Oh, while you're here, help yourself to these, please, if you think they may be of use.
Thank you. Yes, that might be useful. We've not found anything. Well, we found various things. It's hard to piece anything together just at the moment. Some odd occurrences. Have you seen any glowing lights in the area? We happened to glance just off the road on the way here, and just saw some sort of glowing, flickering lights off to one side.
You know, now I'm wondering if I have. I think I probably thought they were people out on the moor for some reason, but yes, I wonder if I've seen a similar thing.
Yes, perhaps we might do some research into that if your library allows. Regarding the disappearance of this Dan, there's something at play. We did find we found this, and I'll get out the scrap of material. Well, I did sense something unusual there. I'm not sure quite what it was, but yes, something odd happened near the pub, I think.
We think Dan might have disappeared from that spot there and then, just vanished. It's possible.
Really?
And then we were followed on the way back by somebody who rushed into the trees when we called out.
A person.
Possibly more intriguingly, we also may have heard that somebody might be following you, lady. I don't suppose you've noticed anything. A woman who's taken interest in you.
Woman who's taken an interest in me.
Someone named Gladys. Do I know this? Gladys Pugh? Did you?
Yeah, the name was
Margaret
shared.
shouted it across the pub.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't imagine Margaret a quiet woman.
Gladys Pugh? Does that mean anything to you?
A woman also interested in the supernatural.
She may not be a regular. Barman didn't know the name.
I'm very surprised by your description that I have no idea who this woman is.
Yeah, we've heard that already. Something odd going on there.
Still not entirely sure if there's something odd is with Margaret or with Gladys.
Yeah. Fair point. There's enough strange stuff going on. Whatever this could be, possibly something to do with it, though. Either way, a lot to think about from here.
I certainly would be interested in exploring your library or collection of books, looking at something to do with these lights, if there's any local folklores about mystical creatures that wear red, broad as that seems, or young, was it a red-haired woman, Hux?
Yeah, that was it. Youngish red-haired woman. I give her the description that was given.
Yes, please, as I've said, please do help yourself.
And those lights as well. Is that, we said you were looking at fairies? Anything to do with them? Something you read in those books? I refer to.
No, idle reading for me this book this evening.
I mean, you've been reading around these subjects for a little while now, and I imagine you'll be familiar with the local folklore on these sorts of matters. Anything that we've said, does it ring any bells? Does it mean anything to you? Any books that you think could point us in the direction of?
I can certainly look through and put a pile together. I imagine I can create that short list faster than you would be able to with my knowledge of what's inside them.
I would urge Lady Spence that you don't go looking for these glowing lights. We have decided ourselves that it's too dangerous to explore this evening, but we will be investigating further. So I know you are interested in these matters, but I would advise caution. Somebody has, of course, already gone missing.
Yes, very wise, of course. Well, you've had a long day, I'm sure. Should we retire for the evening and I can prepare some books in the morning for you?
Could I have one more as a nightcap?
Of course, please help yourself.
I proceed to help myself.
I think Constance looks a bit disappointed at not getting a chance to have a look at some of these books now, but will just look longingly at the books for the time being.
I thought you were going to say we just refuse to leave.
So if Constance is sort of staring at them, she'll say, please take one to bed.
She will pick one at random to take to bed. Whichever one just looks the most interesting or has the shiniest, gold embossed title or something or whatever. Yeah, something that looks eye-catching.
Cool.
She picks the wrong Holy Grail. It's very much that kind of which looks the glitteriest,
Rather than the old, haggard, leather-bound, yeah. Okay, everybody just heading to bed? Cool.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
We'll leave it there.
That was a neat ending time. Head to bed, dead on.
We don't have any dreams.
I think Mosling is going to be staring out of the window for a long while onto the moors.
Oh.
Nice.
If anybody needed that stiff drink, it seems like it was Mosling.
What's Mosling's deal?
Ooh, a bit of backstory.
What's Mosling's deal? Wouldn't you like to know, Bonneville?
We'll find out.
We'll regret
We'll
this.
find out.
It's fine when we were just talking about fairies, but seeing a book about fairies, now that's triggering.
Yeah.
When did we talk about fairies?
She said she was interested in fairies. Or people kept saying, she's interested in fairies and stuff.
Fairies and there's fairies, isn't there?
Yeah.
I suppose.
I suppose having a material thing in your hands that's about them is a bit more,
It is like fairies specifically, not just, fairy stuff.
Yeah, it's like if I hear people talking about spiders, then that's fine. It's people talking about spiders. But if I pick up the British Almanac of Global Spiders or whatever, then probably won't be happy.
There was an amazing comment by Don't Kick Food a moment ago about the fairies thing, which I found so funny. It's Mosling's Forcemark's true fear.
Oh yeah, so thank you for watching, and if you have questions or comments, please put them in the chat, and we can discuss those.
Oh dear.
I'll do promo stuff Wednesday, Simba Room, which will be our last stream of the year, I think.
Oh yeah, coming to the close.
And then I think we're picking back up on the day.
On a day of the week.
The day. Tune in
the
on
9th
the day.
of Jan, I think.
9th.
I think
that's right.
Yeah,
so we'll be
day in 2023.
Yes, and I think that the prospective date for Alien is Saturday the 7th, and I don't know about Simba Room. Is that the first Wednesday, the 4th?
So many questions.
Why are you asking me these questions, Johnny? It's like I should.
It'll be the 4th or the 11th, won't it? It'll be one of those.
Yes.
So
But
yeah,
join our Discord, and
yeah, then you'll get updated all the time. Not all the time, not like spam, but when you need to be updated, that's when you'll be updated.
We'll be back on the 4th. We're only taking the 1 week off.
So 4th for Simba Room, 7th probably for Alien, and 9th for Vaesen. So that's nice, little triple bill. Yeah. Yeah, that's all of it, isn't it? And yeah, join our Discord. There's a link below the stream. Yeah. So questions or comments from anyone?
I don't know if these were related, but the fact that there were two
perfect
cannibal comments about my son at the same time
it was also
delicious.
My first thought when it said Adam was lovely or whatever it was. I was like,
delightful.
Delightful. It was totally imagined.
I think that this lady is a vampire.
We haven't actually seen Adam yet since we got back. Just to
Yeah.
point that out.
Just putting it out there, everyone we leave Adam with is the Vaesen.
We had this conversation with Margaret.
Yeah, that was a
Yeah, I
good
enjoyed
Yep.
that.
Followed by
Crossing the in-joke streams. There.
I love it. I haven't caught up with the Simba Room to the Beremo part yet, even though I have seen the clip, so I'll have to catch up.
oh,
Mhm.
Scott.
They look like they really liked roads.
Presumably the follower. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, I mean, if they'd have been posh, I'd been like, well, this is someone visiting the lady, whatever. If they looked like Hux, I'd have been like, get him, Bonneville! Shoot that bastard!
Shoot that farm labourer.
Exactly. He was trying to rob us on the road.
I think that is
Not the ferries one, John. That was the best one.
Oh,
It's so funny. That was a reference to the book. It's so good. Horse
That would do it.
Fear of ferries.
fantastic.
Thanks,
We
everyone.
also had a resub from Night Bites,
Yeah, thanks,
Thank you,
Night
yeah.
Bites.
and we had a follow a couple of days ago from Baldy Dwarf.
Thank
Wow.
you very much for the follow. Cool. Well, I hope everybody has a wonderful festive period and New Year, and enjoy Simba Room on Wednesday. And we'll be back on the 9th. So thanks for watching, and catch you in 2023.